Hey, Rack and Beer viewers. Welcome to a live event, if you can call it that. Or, well, welcome to my Saturday afternoon. I have been, yeah, just been relaxing after a long week. Um, got the Quite Blonde right here. Mmm, delicious. And yeah, this is a project that I talked about in the last video. Something I've been meaning to do since we got moved in here, and I figured it's been long enough. Yeah, just quick recap, quick recap for nobody's watching, so I'm giving a recap to myself, I guess. But I'm just gonna I collect beer. I mean I do more than home brewing. I've for a long time I collected a lot of beer, and I have a what's known as a beer cellar in the business. What we call in the business a beer cellar. Um, Even though since I've lived in Denmark, I've never actually had a real cellar. So it's more just yeah a collection of beer that I had in a big shelf in my old apartment, and now I'm not sure where its final resting place is going to be here in the new place, but I definitely know that I have a lot of beer that was kind of just forgotten about. Not forgotten about, but it's jammed onto a big, deep shelf, and there's just I just have so much beer that I probably should have drunk a long time ago. So I just want to sort it all out. I jammed it all into boxes to move it, and kind of gonna do it by like quadrants. That's how I'm gonna sort it out. I want to sort out. I'm gonna do like sour beers. My beer mainly falls into three categories, and that's what I'm gonna sort on. One is sour beer that can age for a long time because it's sour beer. Two, imperial stouts or big heavy beers which can age for a long time. And three, random beers that I should have drunk a long time ago, and beers that have aged for a long time and I really should drink them now. So that's kind of the way I'm gonna sort this out. And yeah, without further to do, I'm gonna to drink a little bit, and then we'll get into it. I built this. You're sitting on a shelving unit that I built specially for kind of shelving these beers. This is going to be their temporary home out here in the brew house. I don't know. Can you see? Yeah, you can't see me, but I'm basically surrounded by boxes and bags and stuff. That's all the it's all the beer that I have to sort out. So, all right, let's get started. I got a little box right here, handy. And by little, I mean, why do they why do they make these boxes are specifically for glass, and they're specifically for beer because they're portioned in here for either beer or wine, so they're gonna be heavy. Why the hell do they not make them with handles? I have like three of these. Put handles on your boxes. All right, what's in here? First off, very well aged wrench or a spanner, if that's the kind of English you wanna speak. Yeah, I don't know why that's there. It's because it needed to go out here, and I just chucked it into a box. All right, what do we got in here? Oh, there's an empty space in here. Yikes, that is not efficient. All right, let's just start pulling stuff. Oh, nice. It's actually a pretty cool first pull. This is, which one is this? This is the Raspberry Farmhouse beer from Ale Farm Brewing. Uh, Ale Farm is a mixed fermentation sour brewery here in Denmark. A guy I know from way back in the day, I've met him a few times, opened his own sour brewery, And for a while, or when he first started the brewery, he had a bottle club. You know, like when you give money, and then they promise to send you a certain amount of beer. And this is actually the last beer. This was actually the club beer that they sent us. This is the last beer. Uh, this is actually my only. I think this might be my only Ale Farm beer that I have still left. Yeah, tart farmhouse ale aged in oak with raspberries. This is going into the sour beer category because I'm actually going to age that for a little bit longer. I think that we'll set that off to sour beer. Good start. It's a good beer, or well, it's probably a good beer. I had the other one, which was the base beer for that without the raspberries, and that was very, very good. And I kind of wanted to let the raspberry one sit and develop a little bit. All right. What else is in here? I lied. Here's another farmhouse beer, or another Ale Farm beer. This is Soft Fuzz Apricot Farmhouse Sour. Oh, yeah, I just actually got this recently. I actually want to drink this. So this is going into, I don't really have much to say about this one. Um, it's an apricot sour beer, and I kind of want to drink it relatively soon because you can still get it. So if it's good, I might want to get a few more and then move them over into the keep for a while category. So soft fuzz going over here. Oh no, wait. Yeah, drink soon. Drink soon is over here. We're doing dark beers that need to age, sour beers that need to age, beers I should be probably drink soon. And I see that people have actually joined for. All right. Oh, cool. This is an Ama beer called Murph Hill. And this is actually this is the bourbon, yeah, this is the bourbon barrel aged version. So it's a rye porter. It's a really old recipe that they made like a million years ago. I remember it's one of the first Ama beers that I ever had. They remade it and they bourbon barrel aged it. Yeah. So this is kind of a nostalgic beer put in a bourbon barrel. And yeah, that's going into dark that I'd like to, because this one's actually relatively fresh. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 guys. Oh, look at this. Oud Kiechtukin. Here's another sour beer. This is, I want to say, is this Plum? 250 grams of purple plums per liter of Lambic. Yeah, so this is genuine, real deal Belgian Lambic with plums. This is the 2014-2015. I've heard that these are really, really good aged. I've had this beer. I had a smaller bottle that I drank fresh, and it was nice. So this one's going into sour aged beer. But if you ever get a chance, they're kind of like I really like their fruited lambic beers. They're not like as crazy popular, at least in my opinion, like Cantillon or something from Belgium or Fontaine. So they're a little more accessible or a little more easy to get. But I think that beer especially is really good. Oh, speaking of really good, this is Le Roya de Creek from Jolly Pumpkin. I bought this one of my last trips to the U.S. I love Jolly Pumpkin. It's like one of my favorite breweries in the whole world. It's from Michigan. It's like world-class sour beer and mixed fermentation, old school like barrel-aged stuff. And it's from like 45 minutes down the road from where I grew up. So I really, really love their beer. I actually bought this for my wife because she loves Kriek. She loves cherry lambic. I'm not sure if this is lambic. Oh, sour amber ale. But I actually bought this for her, so I'm gonna put this over in the drink soon because I should share that with her since I bought it especially for her. All right, well that's one box already out of the way. And what are we at? 9 minutes? Oh, 10 minutes. Well, 10 minutes per box, so we could actually be done within an hour or so. I'm just gonna leave this run until I'm done. I don't know. I've never done a video I've never done an hour-long video. I hope that the stream is okay. I see people watching. If the quality is okay, let me know. I'm running off my phone internet because my company, the company I work for pays for my internet or my phone data, and I always have a ton left over at the end, so I thought I'd just burn it up. Somebody decided to mow their lawn outside, so I don't know if you can hear that. Anyway, all right, another box. Why doesn't this box have handles? It's specifically made to house beer. Put some damn handles on it, you bastards. Oh, it's got a lot of flaps. Gotta get these. Gotta get the flaps out. Oh, I can see quality is fun. Oh, soldering. Oh, I'm glad that I'm some nice soldering background. All right, another box. What's in here? Oh, I can see cans, so this must be a recent acquisition. Oh yeah, Evil Twin Bible Belts. So this is a collab with Evil Twin and Prairie. I've had this a bunch of times on tap, and I got this in like a mixed grab bag beer thing that I ordered from McKellar. So I thought that, yeah, I've had it a bunch of times fresh on tap, so why not put it away? So that's going in dark things to have, things for the future. What else is in here? Oh, I'm glad that it's a beer-related project that you're soldering. The vanilla maple cocoa from McKellar. Another beer that I've had that's like really intensely sweet, and it's kind of it's an oatmeal stout with coffee, vanilla, cocoa, and maple syrup. It's one of those beers that's like a dentist's dream because it's just like teeth-rottingly sweet. So we'll be putting this off to dark beers that should age for a while. It's a nice beer, but it's one of those beers like this can. If I were to open this now, I would need like 6 people to share this with. All right, put that aside. Oh, now here's a beer. Here's a beer with a story. This is Ama's King of Kentucky. I think this is one of their first barrel-aged beers. I bought this, when was this brewed? Was brewed 5 years ago? Was it 5 years? I got this on the day that I went to Ama to see the first brewing of Todd the X-Man. If you're a fan of Surly Brewing or Ama, they have this really, really popular IPA called Todd the X-Man, and I was there on the first day it was brewed for a blog press thingamajig at Ama. And I bought this beer. I bought like 7 or 8 of these, and then I walked all through Copenhagen carrying them around, drunk off my ass. So, if you've ever had a giant bag full of beer and walked like 20 kilometers, yeah. So this is a beer with a lot of memories attached to it, and it's pretty old. I have a friend, I think, who just drank one recently, and he said it's drinking like fantastic right now. So I think I'm gonna put this in drink soon. Might as well. I need to stop hoarding beer. Cheers. Speaking of not hoarding beer. All right, what else is in here? I see another Ama cap. Oh, geez. Double black mash. So this is Ama's annual release of a double mashed imperial stout, 12%. This one is also 5 years old, I think. I remember a friend of a friend brought it in from Copenhagen because at the time you could only get it at one bottle shop in Copenhagen, and we had her pick up some bottles on her way back to the city. Now you can get it pretty easily, but so this is a really old bottle of that. I should probably drink this pretty soon too. Put that over there. Le Sac. Le Sacre. Oh yeah, okay, now, okay, oof, had to refresh my memory. So this is a brewery called Abeltoft, which is the name of a city or an area here in Denmark. It's a little brewery, but a few years ago, they got an American brewmaster that they hired, and they started they basically redid the entire portfolio. They used to do like craft beer, but kind of old school stuff, and this American guy kind of turned their portfolio. Like they've got one of the best Danish New England IPAs right now, and it's also doing some sour stuff. I had this on tap last summer, and I remember it was just fantastic. I must have had like 10 pints of this. So I had a friend of mine who was vacationing near there pick me up a couple bottles. This I wanna age a little bit more. So it's a sour saison. I probably didn't even mention that. It was made in summer of 2017, so it's not even a year old yet. So that's definitely gonna go into the sour save pile. Oh my god, it fell over. No. All right, another cane. Even Mo Jesus. Everybody has to have heard of this beer. This is one of the Evil Twin Brewing. He's the brother of Mikkel from Mikkeller Beer. Danish guy, moved to the U.S., gypsy brewer. This was one of the beers that put him on the map. I remember spending so much time looking for the original release of this. It was so hard to get a hold of. And then now I think I bought this can on sale. For the original bottle release, I had to go, and I actually just drank that recently. I had to go to his bottle shop in Copenhagen to get it, and it cost a fortune. And now I think I got this one on sale, like half price. I think this was like 40 kroner, so it was like $8 or something. So that's funny how that works out. But I'm gonna save this. I've had this a bunch of times. It's really common to get this now, so I'm gonna age one. It's up there. And then I've got two of the same beer. All right. If you're from Europe, you'll recognize this. Yellow Belly Sunday, Imperial Stout brewed with peanut butter and biscuits. So this is from Omnipollo, which is the Swedish brewery best known for making crazy beers, crazy milkshake IPAs and I don't know, like kebab beers. I don't know. They make like really crazy, really out there kind of stuff. And I had this, I can't remember when I got these. I remember the first release of this was really limited and it was hard to get. This is like a collaboration with Buxton Brewery in the UK, and it was really hard to get. And I had it at a beer festival, and it really blew my mind. So when the next release came out, I've got 2 bottles of it, and I had a couple of bottles fresh, and they were little underwhelming, so I put these aside. So I'm actually maybe I should drink one of them. I'll put one of them in the drink soon category, and I'll put the other one in the continue to age. All right, another box in less than 10 minutes. Yeah, great. We're making progress. Oh, that one's really, really heavy. Let's do this bag. Oh, speaking of heavy. Oh, it's because woo! All right, need another sip. All right, here's a bag of beer. I know those boxes had some of my nicer stuff in them, so we might be getting into a more mixed bag now. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. So this is a beer from a Danish brewery called Brydel, and this beer is so old. Like, this is from before I even moved to this city, so this beer must be at least 7 years old. Um, it's like a strong, light beer, 7.5%. And what their deal was is that this was before I really had access. This is to when I was living in a really small city in Denmark, and I didn't have access to a lot of craft beer. And I had heard about these guys. They use like a old school brewery, and they brew with all this local ingredient crap. I don't want to make it sound. They're not like, some of their beers are really crap. I've had a lot of their beers in between buying this, and they haven't been really great. So I think that this one was brewed in 2011. So yeah, it's 7 years old. Wow. I don't even know if I'm gonna drink that, so I'm gonna put that over here. That's one of those ones that got put in like a dark corner and completely forgotten about. I don't even know why I still have it. I guess I should probably open it and see if it's even worth drinking, if it's even good. Anyway, that was a weird little story. Oh, speaking of a weird little story, um, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this one. So, when I moved to Denmark, um, I restarted my education here 10 years ago, and during my education, I had to do a semester internship somewhere, and I had a really good friend. Shout out to Greg if he's watching. Um, that's not his real name. That's the name that I can pronounce. Uh, who's Hungarian. He's a Hungarian guy that I met in Denmark in school, and he was working for a company at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go do my internship there." Yeah, I think enough time has passed, dude, that I'm just gonna. You totally weren't doing an internship. You were just going home and working in your job. So I'm gonna out the both of us, and he's like, I can totally get you like an internship there if you want to come live in Hungary for like 4 or 5 months. I was like, well, I'm not gonna say no to that. That was I mean, I thought, shit, how often does opportunities like that come along? So I lived for a while in Hungary, um, and the craft beer scene there was like in its infancy, like crazy small, very insular, and I got a few. I tried a lot of Hungarian, anything I could get my hands on Hungarian craft beer, and this was one of them that I brought back with me, and I've never had the heart to drink it. So this was brewed in 2014. Yeah, I brought this back with me. I actually, I had to back. I shipped it back like by ground, like on a truck, like a box full of my stuff, because um, none of the airlines that flew out of there would take big bag. That's like a superfluous little anecdote. Anyway, so it's an 8% Belgian triple. Man, a lot of nostalgia on this. I don't even know if this brewery exists anymore. What's it called? Hop, Hopi, yeah, Hopfanatic? No, I don't know. I can't read the little label up here, and I certainly can't read this text at all. I only learned like 5 Hungarian words, and most of them involved thank you and hello. Yeah, I should drink that. I should really drink that. That's something I should close down. I think that's the last Hungarian beer I have. Their scene has exploded too, by the way. Um, I've heard that the craft beer is really big in Hungary now. I haven't been back. I haven't been back in like 5, 6 years. I really should get back. I really should get back there. Oh, bottle of Yeti. Bottle of Great Divide Yeti. I think I bought this in Sweden. Um, if you don't know, Sweden has these like government-run liquor stores, and they're if you're Danish, the beer is pretty cheap, or no, it's not cheap, but it's slightly cheaper than in Denmark, and they have stuff that you can't get here in Denmark, or at least they did. So I used to go over to Sweden every once in a while and buy. This was bottled in February 28th, 2013. That is an old Yeti. Man, when did I go and buy this? Anyway, you can always buy Yeti at Systembolaget in Sweden. Just about. I should probably drink that. It's 2013. That was a long time ago. Ooh, speaking of a long time ago, oh no, this is relatively new. This is one of my newer. So KBS, everybody knows KBS founders. This is from 2015. So this was the first year that it became like available, limitedly available in Denmark. I remember I was at the Mikkeller Beer Festival in Copenhagen, and I met a Swedish guy that I knew, and he was like seriously, he was like, we talked for a little while, and then he kind of leans in, you know, that conspiratorial whisper, and he's like, KBS, they have it at kiosk. If you go now, you could get it. I'm like, oh shit, they got KBS. He's like, yeah. So I went over to that shop. It's a shop in Copenhagen, and I bought KBS. I remember buying a ton of KBS, and then again, I always go to Copenhagen and I buy a bunch of shit, and then it limits me because I have to walk around. I'm gonna continue aging that one. I always have to walk around with like 30 kilos of beer in like shopping bags. Like, bleh. Anyway, KBS. Oh, there's another oldie but goodie. There's Bourbon County Stout, man. Look at that, 2012. I think 2012 was the last time that they distributed to Denmark. I haven't seen it since then. I remember finding it in my wife's hometown in this tiny little shop. They had like this whole shelf full of Bourbon County, and it was really well priced. So I remember spending a lot of money that day. But shit, yeah, there's a bottle of 2012 Bourbon County. Enjoy that. Man, I really shouldn't keep aging that, but I need to find somebody to enjoy that with. So put that over there. I got a really large pile of beer that I need to be drinking soon, it seems. Oh, Wild Beer Company, the Wildebeest. This is the chocolate crushed espresso vanilla beer. So Wild Beer is a British beer company. I had this beer with a friend of mine, and I think we spent, I think we drank it at like 9 o'clock in the evening, and then at like 9 a.m. the next morning we were done gushing about it. We both loved it so much. We went in and ordered, the next time they rebrewed it, we went in and ordered a ton. And the last bottle I had was disappointing, so I'll put that in drink soon. That was a wow. That was a very hopeful story that went nowhere. Oh, it's a bottle of Trappist Rockford 8. We're not even going to talk about that. I'll put that in. I'll just put that in big beers. Ooh, here's one to talk about. Black Note. Bell's Black Note, the 2012 edition. Holy crap! My brother must have sent me this. My brother lives in Portage, which is in basically Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is where Bell's is. So my brother gets me Black Notes. Man, this must have been, yeah, I don't know when he gave me this. Well, 2012, he gave it to me in 2012. This is a beer, I think it might be more widely available, but back in the day, back in 2012, this was like, you couldn't get this unless you lived up the road from Bell's like my brother, because they only made a tiny bit of it, and it sold out really quick, and they only sold it in their bottle shop in there at the brewery. So yeah, Black Note Stout, man, 2012. This is a beer I also really need to find somebody to drink it with, somebody who will appreciate it. It's one of those beers that's like, I think it's in like the top 10 beers in the world. I don't know if it is anymore, but I remember I had 2 bottles and I drank one with a friend of mine, and he wasn't very appreciative of it, and I was totally bummed. So I'm gonna find somebody who's gonna gush over that beer. Oh, Beer Geek Limp Porter. This is more. This is something you'll only really know about if you're from Denmark. Um, Limfjords Porter is a really classic Danish beer, Baltic Porter. McKellar did a collaboration with the brewery who makes it, and they did a coffee, highly coffee American hops version of it. This is from the original release, something I want to age to see how it comes, because as I remember it, it was ultra, ultra hoppy. And then the last beer in there was just a really old bottle of breakfast stout. Probably also something my brother got me before Founders. This was from before Founders was really easy to get in Denmark. You can see it's a newer bottle. It's a really old bottle because it's still got the baby on it, which they're not allowed to have anymore. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got a lot of beer. I should drink that. All right. I can reach some other beers over here. Oh, shit. This is an old bottle. This is Boo Goop from McKellar and Three Floyds. It is a American barley wine. Is that what it is? Yeah. So this is this bottle's probably 6, 7 years old. There's on the side here, this is where so this says batch number, brewed, and best before. And you can see they're totally blank. Something might have been printed there, but it's gone now. Yeah, so this is a 10.4% barley wine. This is really old. They brewed this. This was back before you could get any kind of Three Floyds here in Denmark. This is before they had a brew pub in Copenhagen. Man, that feels like that feels like I can put that away for a little while longer. Barley wine, I mean, you can age those for 1,000 years, right? Oh, this one is cool. This is Bell's Eccentric Ale. So the beer itself I've had, and I don't think it's one of those what is it? It's ale brewed with pumpkin, squash, sweet potatoes, and natural flavorings. So it's one of those like vegetable beers, and it's super like it's just weird. And it's something they do. Bell's has this annual thing called Eccentric Day. I think that's what it's called. And they have people dress up in funny clothes, and and they release this beer, and it's they drink it in the Eccentric Cafe in their brew pub or in their pub thing, and then I think they bottle the rest of it if whatever's left over, and then they sell it. They sell like vintages of it in the bottle shop. I bought this. I don't know. I bought this when I was visiting my brother, and the only reason I bought it is this is the Eccentric Ale from 2003. So this beer was made and bottled when I graduated from high school. That's cool to me. I don't know. Maybe I'll just never drink it. That could be a fun thing. I'm not gonna put it in the drink soon pile. Mostly because I think it's probably terrible. I've had the fresher ones and they're terrible. So sorry, Bells. Sorry to my Michigan viewers. I know it might be sacrilege to say a Bell's beer is terrible, but that one is pretty bad. Um, but yeah, 2003. I mean, that's awesome. That is an old beer. That's one of probably my oldest beers. Here's the. Oh no, wait, this is homebrew. I was gonna say, oh, here's Limfjords Porter. I was just talking about that, but it's Limfjords Porter is a porter, and this is clear. So this is homebrew. You know what? I'm making a new quadrant. This is gonna be the homebrew quadrant. There are some homebrews mixed in here. That's probably something I should drink soon, or should pour out more likely. Right. Here's another can. Oh boy. This is a collaboration between Northern Monk and Ale Farm from Denmark. Well, Northern Monk is British and Ale Farm is. And I remember I bought. I was really hyped about this because Northern Monk is a really cool brewery and Ale Farm is a really cool brewery. and this is a sour saison with blueberries and I think it's blueberry and what is it? One of them was peach and lactose. Is this also got lactose in it? No, it doesn't. It's just blueberry. Anyway, they were terrible. Long story short, I'm gonna age this one in the sour pile, and hopefully maybe it'll get less terrible. Sorry, Andreas, it was really bad. Oh, cool. There's a beer from Fanu Boikos, which is a brewery on a little island off the coast of where my wife grew up. They also have an American brewer now. So this is 100% Brett fermented farmhouse ale. I'm gonna put that in sour beers. I wanna. Why are these bottles wet? That's worrying. It doesn't smell like beer. Oh boy, we're having a tip over here. Oh, bottle of Zombie Killer. Doesn't have a Danish ingredient sticker, so I must have brought this back from Bee Nectar in Michigan. This my wife loves this, so I should put that. I think I bought it for her. Cheers. There's a lot of Michigan stuff in here. There's another Jolly Pumpkin beer. I bought this in Denmark. I buy anything I see from Jolly Pumpkin that comes up for sale in Denmark. I buy it regardless. Sour ale brewed with pumpkin and lime. I hate pumpkin beers, but it's Jolly Pumpkin, so it's probably going to be good. But I am going to probably drink that soon. Yeah, we're moving right along now. Oh, this one's also up there with one of my more older beers. This is here's its newer cousin. This is Un Mas o Jesus. Probably butchered that pronunciation. But this is even more Jesus, brewed in Spain, I want to say. Yeah, in Catalonia, Spain. So this was back when Yippe from Evil Twin was still brewing stuff in Europe and still kind of bouncing around. So this is the Spanish version of Even More Jesus. I bought this in Boston, of all places. I just found it in some random bottle shop. It's 1,000 years old. I have no idea. Just gonna put it off to the side. I'm gonna have to stand up now. Ooh, that didn't sound good. It's a growler from Warpix in Copenhagen. Not well aged or anything. Thing of this is, what the hell do they call this thing? Black Tokyo Horizon. So this is a mix of McKellar Black, Brewdog Tokyo, and I don't know, no news, something or other. Yeah, 15.2%. They all have they're all really well regarded, super high alcohol European imperial stouts, and then they mixed them together and they did like a special swanky box. Let's see, is the bottle swanky too? Oh yeah, it was bottled in at Brewdog, so the bottle's just bottly. This one I got 2 of these for my birthday from 2 separate people. Bought me this because it was the fanciest beer box. No, wait, one of them bought it for me because he knew my birthday. Anyway, I had one fresh and it was very hot and very boozy. So let's just set this one to the side here. That one's going into Dark Save. That bottle is empty. Bottle of Goose from Boon Goose. Always a solid Goose. This is the 2014-2015 version. Just gonna age that off. Always a solid goose. Here's a really old bottle of Limp Porter. What's this one from? I think this one's 4 or 5 years old. I'm gonna continue to age that. I don't know why. Just for the giggles of it. Oh man. I bought this when I was in Michigan in September. This is B Nectar's Funky Monkey. And it is a mead with cherry juice and hops. So they hop it like a creek. I think that's what the thing is. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's Styrian Golding's. Yeah, anyway, it's cherry mead, hopped cherry mead. I should drink that. I also bought that to drink with my wife. Should drink that pretty quick. Another B Nectar. This is a cool one. This is B Nectar's collaboration with Mikkeller. So it's kind of Michigan and Denmark together, which I always buy that kind of stuff. This is a sea buckthorn fandango. So it's sea buckthorn wild ale. Bleh. I love their artwork. Basically, I buy anything that I find in Denmark from Jolly Pumpkin. Just the artwork alone is worth it, but the beer is also usually world class. I actually really want to drink that one soon. I kind of want to use Jolly Pumpkin dregs to make a beer. I've heard that they're really aggressive, so that kind of scares me. I'm scared. But it could be really cool. Oh man. This beer is from a Danish brewery called Beer Here. It's Melis Peter, Bad Father. I don't know if you can make out the picture. It's awful. I bought this when I was still blogging and I wanted to do like a feature on offensive beer labels. I should drink that. I should drink that just so I don't have to look at the bottle anymore. I never got around to making that because I couldn't collect any other beers. Oh, what's this? Oh, it is not a Moon Man. It's a homebrew from Lou Brews in the U.S. This is his. Is this the? I think this is the Brett's Saison. Yeah, I got this like last year. And I've been waiting until I got up and running at the new place because I want to try and, I think it's bottle conditioned. Yeah, I just shook the shit out of it, but I can see a lot of floaters in there. I want to try and culture the yeast out of this. I don't know if there's enough in there, but it's worth a shot. Would be kind of fun to have a brew tuber from the US's yeast strain over here. Would be, well, it's fun for me anyway, or it's fun for me to think about. Oh boy, we are, it is a shopping bag full of bottle caps. That has no, alright, here's in the box. Man, yet more Jolly Pumpkin. Innovator Man. Oh yeah, so this is the Evil Twin collaboration. So I've got the Mikkeller collaboration and the Evil Twin collaboration. This is, I think this is a stout. Isn't it a stout? Blah 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 blah. No, it isn't a stout. But well, I could kind of see that. I guess looking at the. So this is a wild ale with strawberries. Oh man, I should drink that soon. I thought it was a. Sometimes I just buy beer because I just see, oh, Jolly Pumpkin, I need that. And I buy it, and then I put it in the fridge, and then I don't drink it because it's a friggin' wine bottle of beer. And I probably should have drunk that. Strawberries are usually they usually fade out really quick in beer. So, anyway, moving on, I should drink that. Moving on to a wine bottle. Ooh, speaking of, this is Clique from Decam. If you don't know, he's a blender in Belgium. Very nice blender. A friend of mine was kind enough to give me this um, for some event. I can't remember. It was a present from a friend who's really into Belgian Lambic, and I don't actually even know. 2016 is what the little label. This was, I think he brought this from Belgium actually. So I'm gonna age that a little bit longer. I've had Decam beer, and it really hits like 5-6 years. It really hits kind of nice, or at least the ones I've had that were 5 or 6 years old have been really good. Oh, another sour beer. Oh, another Michigan sour beer. So this is from brewery. Oh, is it? Oh no, okay. I thought it was a collaboration. It's from Brewery Vivants in Grand Rapids. I don't know. I don't know how well known they are outside of Michigan, but they're like a Belgian style brewery in Grand Rapids. I have tried to go there 3 times when I've been visiting Michigan, and I have never been able to get through the door. So all I've ever been able to do is just drink their beers that I buy from party stores. So I bought this one. This is a wood and wild fermentation project. Barrel aged sour ale, dry hopped with Amarillo. Oh geez, this is dry hop sour beer. I probably should put that into drink soon. It's from September, so it's probably still okay. Anyway, yeah, Brewery Vivant. If you Michigan beer, it's pretty cool. I used to live in Grand Rapids. I wish there was something cool there when I used to live there. That's a different story. Oh, more. You can tell that I hoard Jolly Pumpkin beer. So here's another Jolly Pumpkin, Fuego del Tono. Another sour beer from this one I bought in Denmark. It's another one of the Jolly Pumpkin in Denmark. I buy. Doesn't even matter what it is. I actually don't even know what it is. Sour ale with chestnuts and spices. Whee! Yeah. I have a problem with Jolly Pumpkin. They have a lot of beers, and only maybe like 0.01% make it to Denmark. So I just buy them regardless of whether I think I might like them or not. That's first world problems or whatever. Oh, here's a bottle of black. We talked about the mix one here, so you can see that they match up. Bottle of McKellar Black. So let's see, Minz Holbart, 2022. So this is did they put 10 years on? I think. So this is 7 years old. This might be one of the original. This might be one of the original brewings of black. Really, really high alcohol McKellar, 18.1% Imperial Stout. That's a thing. I've had it a bunch of times. It's a nice beer, but it's really intense. It's one of those absolutely beyond intense experiences in beer. Ooh, here's a very dusty old bottle. I'll prove that by rubbing the dust off of it. This is Cantillon Saint Lamvinus. This is the lambic with grape skin added. Yeah, with wine grapes added. I bought this. When is this from? 31st of October 2013. Early on, when I first moved to Denmark and started getting into beer, you could still buy Cantillon in the stores, in the regular like wine shops. They would get cases of this, and it would just sit on the shelf because nobody was into lambic back then. So this is from 2013, when you could still buy lambic on the shelf without having to know a guy who knows a guy. And that was awesome. I've had this beer many times. Like most Cantillon, you can't go wrong. I've had I've actually had this year before, and it's just really good. It's not my favorite Cantillon, but it's still really good. Mystery beer, homebrew probably. Going in the homebrew section. This is a really old beer. This is from a local brewery. A local brewery that exists now, but this was when he worked for another local brewery, but he brewed his own beer under their label. Yeah, that's that's a story only one person would ever be interested in, and he's not watching, so I will spare you. Bottle of Spontan Basil. Can you see that? Not really. The sun came in here. Yeah, this is a collaboration between Mikkeller and Lindemans in Belgium. So it's Lambic with basil. It's a nice beer. I've had it before. I'm aging this one out. It's yeah, if you're a fan of basil, it's a nice beer. It's a nice basil-y beer, basil-y sour beer. Basil sour beer. That sounds nice, right? Right. Danish metal. I got this. Yeah, I got this at the brewery. It's an imperial stout they did as a collaboration with Jester King. It's not like a sour beer or anything. It's just a nice imperial stout. When did they brew this? It went out of date in August of 2017, so they probably brewed it in 2015. And I bought it back then, and I wanted to age a bottle. The funny thing is that I was in Grand Rapids last year, and I had to kill some time, so I found this just really small liquor store, like corner place in downtown, or not even in downtown Grand, actually by Brewery Vivant. If there are anybody from Michigan watching, there's like a liquor store down there, and they had this beer in the fridge. It was weird to see it there. It was completely random to see a Danish beer in such a tiny little shop in Grand Rapids. Anyway. Bottle of Speedway Stout. I don't think any cellar collection. By law, I think you're required to have a bottle of Speedway Stout in your cellar. So this is just me fulfilling that contract. What's this? Oh, Night Tripper. Another Michigan beer that probably nobody else has ever heard of. High Gravity Series. It's from New Holland Brewing. If you would know them from Dragon's Milk. I don't know how well known they are outside of Michigan. This is from 2013. So this is also something my brother gave me that I should probably drink this pretty soon. He's probably gonna be mad at me that I sat on that beer for so. He gives me beers, and then he's like, hey, did you drink that? What'd you think? No, I didn't drink it yet. And then he stops talking to me. No, he doesn't stop talking to me. Jordan, I'm gonna drink it. Jordan. I promise. I don't know if you'll ever get this far into a video, but cheers. I'll drink it. I promise. There's another big box. To the side. Oh shit. Now we're getting into it. Russian River Supplication. This is their Pinot Noir barrel cherry sour beer. How'd the label get why is it got all this gunk on it? Why are my beers so dirty? Yeah. It's very, very well known beer. I traded for it back when I used to trade beers. This is also from 2013. I should probably drink that, I should drink that. I don't have much to say about it because I've actually never had it. I've just had this. I've had this beer for 5 years, but I've never had it because it's one of those beers that's was really hard to get, and it continues to be really hard to get. Like there's a lot of beer that was like really sought after for a long time, but now you can get it more easily. That's usually how it goes, but that's not one of them, as far as I know. Anyway. Oh, here's another. Oh, that must mean that yeah, its brother is in here too. This is what did they end up calling this? This is Half-Alex and Basil Brunch. So it is a mix between Hefeweizen, which is an Ama Imperial Stout, pretty well known here in Denmark, and Mikkeller's, the Weasel Poop beer, the Kopi Luwak beer. I actually don't think they make that anymore. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a really long time. Anyway, it was a really strong coffee beer. And yeah, this is a mix of those two beers. And then this is, I need to drink this soon. This is the waxed version, which legend tells that somebody messed up the amount of coffee that they were supposed to dry coffee bean the original batch with, and they doubled it, and so in the midst of the panic, someone just said, okay, well, let's just wax the bottles and release it as a special double edition. So that's what they did. So this is the double edition, double coffee edition. I should drink those because they're really old, and I should be like, I should drink beer that has coffee in it. It's one of those things that I don't know a lot about, like how does coffee age in beer, especially like huge coffee beers. Future video. Homebrew. Oh boy, speaking of really old coffee beers that my brother gave me and I should have drank a long time ago, and he's probably going to be mad. This is Lips of Faith Imperial Coffee Chocolate Stout from New Belgium. I don't know, do they still do Lips of Faith? Anybody watching? Does New Belgium still do the Lips of Faith series where they do those like one-off beers? I don't know if they do anymore. I haven't seen them. I haven't followed New Belgium very much. We can't get it here. My brother gave me this because he said he thought it was fantastic. This is also really old. And that's that story. Oh, hey! That is the first homebrew I ever made. So that is like a 6-year-old homebrew. That's a video for some other day. Another homebrew from Nate from Under the Table Brewing in the U.S. I really want to drink that soon. Crunkle Sam, a barley wine, American barley wine from Clown Shoes. That should be drunk. Holy crap, this pile is getting really big. Ooh, Imperial Biscotti Break. Is this the new version or the old version? This looks new. Yeah. Best before 24. Oh no, this is an original. So this is a really old. This was also one of the beers that. Oh no, wait, hang on. This is homebrew. Pay no attention to the homebrew. Barrel proof. Ama Blakehouse, another barrel aged beer that I got at the same time as the King of Kentucky beer. This is a bourbon barrel aged barley wine. Good stuff. Oh, Vesmal Trappist. Not gonna bother talking about that for very long. Oh, this is cool. I bought this in Michigan the last time I was back. This is episode 13 from Bee Nectar. I'm gonna keep repping. Episode 13. So this is their honey wine aged in bourbon barrels. I've had it a few times at the tap. What do you want? Brew pub, tap house. Anyway, it's really really good. Crazy expensive, but really good. But it needs to age. That's gonna age. Mead, aging mead. More mead. Death Unicorn from Bee Nectar as well. Should drink that with my wife. Mutant Killer Zombie Manhattan Project thingy, also from Bee Nectar. We're starting to get into like newer beers that I don't have a lot of to talk about. That's like the Zombie Killer where they like tripled the ingredients, so it's like the Imperial Zombie Killer. If you know what Zombie Killer is. Another fancy box. This is Geronimo from, is it Beavertown? Yeah, Beavertown. So this is their Imperial Stout aged in Jameson barrels. Jameson has been like, they've been all about going to European craft brewers and being like, hey, you want to use our barrels for like stuff? And brewers are like, yeah, I guess so, sure. So I know at least 2 or 3 European breweries that have recently done a Jameson barrel thingamajig beer. Jameson has some new thing too, where they're doing like shot in a beer. Is that a thing? If you're from Europe, is shot in a beer a thing from Jameson? I don't know. Sorry, I had to check my phone. I had to check that I wasn't going nuts on the data. Because if I go over, then the company is like, hey, it's cool when you don't use the data, but we're not real keen on you going over your data. I bought this also in Sweden. This is Carnegie Porter from Gothenburg. It was actually made by Carlsberg, Sweden. Anyway, I bought a bottle of this, and then I talked with a Swedish guy, and he was like, yeah, just put that away in a dark place for like 10 years, and then it'll be good. Taking his advice, putting it in a dark place for like 10 years. Oh, most of the rest of this looks like homebrew. Another Trappist Rockford beer. Yeah, we're rolling homebrew in here. Yeah. Oh, that one's not homebrew. Himmelinade from Demolen. I think it's called Heaven and Hell, maybe? I don't know. This is the Wild Turkey barrel aged. I actually bought this to drink with my brother, and I don't know why we never drank it. I actually think he has a beer in his fridge that I brought him that we were supposed to drink and never did, and it's like a running joke now because that was back 7 years ago, and every time that I visit him, I'm like, hey, should we drink that beer? Nah, let's just wait. We'll do it next time. Because we see each other like once every 2-3 years. We will do it next time. Tough Ghost from Fenu. This is a really old sour beer. Been aging this for. This is from when Ryan was there. If you are someone who knows the history of that, he was a brewer at Tired Hands, and then he came to Denmark to be the head brewer at this little Danish brewery. And then he went to England and he started Siren, or he was the head brewer at Siren, and now he works at Hill Farmstead. So talk about moving on up. Moving on up to the east side. Baltic Porter. These beers kind of got me just jostled around. Another Le Sacre. That's going to get aged. Is there anything in here that actually has commercial beer in it? Alright, I'm going to have to stand up. Check out my awesome shorts. I think I got them in high school. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for the little show there. Oh, ooh, now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Is that actually what's in there? Yeah. Local beer, Stack, bourbon barrel, won a prize in Denmark. This is a pretty good beer. They used to be local. I don't think he doesn't brew around here anymore. But I got that. I think that's an older version. It's like a Scotch ale. It's one of my favorite Scotch ales for a long time. End of story. Extremely old bottle of this is this is funny. Well, it's a bottle of Orval, obviously. What year is this from? This is a 2012. This was the first beer that I bought when I moved, not to Denmark, but to this city that I don't really live in the city anymore. I live out in the countryside. Well, I live just outside the city. But when I moved to this city, which is my final resting place, or whatever, however you want to say that, in Denmark, this is the first beer that I bought, the first ever one. It's I don't know. It's like you ever do that? That's I don't know. I have like memories attached to. I have a really good memory, so things like trigger memories on me all the time. I don't know. I don't know if you guys have that or not. Really old homebrew. Here's an Imperial Stout from that same local brewery. A friend got me this for my birthday. I have no idea. Saint Sebastian Grand Cru, product of Belgium. I do not know what this is. He gave it to me and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I have no idea where he got it. 7.6% alcohol, special beer. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. It's in this like swing top, and I guess like you take the crown cap off, and then I don't know, you like, if you don't drink it all, you put this on. I don't know. I have no idea of the quality of the beer, but I'm excited about this bottle because I want to put like mead or something in it. Doesn't this look like a mead? There's like a spider right here. I'm gonna get rid of you, buddy. I don't like you. Get out of my shot. Get out of my shot. Yeah, so this is like I see mead in this bottle. I should get rid of the stuff in it, and then I should put mead in it. I should make the mead first, and then I'm whirlpooling a Gamma Ray clone right now. Oh, cool. Oh, that's such a good beer. We used to be able to get Beavertown here in. We used to be able to get Beavertown in Denmark relatively easily. They used to sell it in like the beer shops, and then it's just like we had like this period where we got Beavertown beer, and then gone. Can't get it no more. Which is a bummer because I love Beavertown. They are an awesome brewery. Yeah. I also love Gamma Ray on tap. I've only had it once in a trip to London, but yeah. I really miss Beavertown. You can order it from like you can order it in Denmark from. The only way to really get it is to order it from the UK, and the shipping cost is just like. The shipping cost is really high, so you have to buy a lot of beers. So you end up dropping like He ended up dropping like 800 Danish kroner, which is, I don't know, 100 pounds, maybe, somewhere about that. And that's, it's just it's a real bummer. I wish that we could just buy it off the shelf like we used to be able to. Uh, oh man, I think we're almost done. I think we are almost done, you guys. That is homebrew. Also homebrew. Here's an extraordinarily old beer bottle of Two Hearted. Does this have a year on it? Yeah, 2013. So the story with this is, remember if you're still here from back when I was talking about when I lived in Hungary, um, the guy the Hungarian guy, I had brought back a bottle of Two Hearted for one time, brought back from the U.S., and he thought it was the best thing he'd ever tasted in his entire life. And then I was going back to Michigan, and I promised I would get him a Two Hearted because we were supposed to see each other again, and that never ended up happening. So I've actually been hanging on to this bottle of Two Hearted that I schlepped back from the U.S. for him as a joke, which is it's kind of sad because I've been hanging on to it since 2013 and we haven't seen each other. We still haven't seen each other in that amount of time. But I had always thought that like it'd be really funny that I would just hand him this bottle. This is like it's the beer that I actually brought back for him. Even though I'm sure it tastes like shit now because it's an IPA that's 5 years old. But it's still going to be a funny joke if I ever. We're actually talking about hanging out this summer, so maybe I'll actually hand him this bottle and be like, "Hey man, here's your here's your Two Hearted Ale from fucking 6 years ago." All right, I made myself laugh with that one. We gotta save that one. What is that? I gotta put that in sour beer, right? That's. Oh man. All right, I'm saving that. Oh, that's actually might be one of the ones we go out on. We'll go out on a laugh, you guys, because I don't see very much. I don't think I have very much left. Let me do a quick lap. Oh, no, that looks pretty much like it. Yeah, well, geez, just in time because I really have to pee. So, wow, honestly, it was kind of fun. It's kind of fun just doing this. Might have to get more into this live thing. I really wanted to try out doing a long live thing and see how it went. And this went pretty good. Had like three or four people that were here. I don't know if it's the same people, but man, thanks for sticking. I don't know. Yeah, if you're the same people, thanks for sticking this out. Yeah, cool. Well, now I gotta rebox all this shit and label it and all that kind of stuff. But got a sore head coming. Not sure. Probably because yeah, I definitely do if I actually get to all this stuff in the next little time. That was my brain. I was thinking of something in Danish, and then it makes my brain weird. Now we've totally lost. Now I've totally lost the plot. But yeah, the pile to drink soon is really big, and it is mostly imperial stouts and big sour beers. So yeah, maybe I'll drink some of them live. maybe that'll be my thing on the weekend, is I'll drink some weird beer live out here in my drafty shed, my brew house, or soon to be brew house. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, and yeah, cheers. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I gotta go refill this because it's getting warm and empty. They must be purged. Yes, yes, they have. Heretics must be purged. They must be purged because I need room for more beer. No, no, and it's dangerous because now I've got this big space out here. The reason that I have so few beers, so few. I mean, there's still a lot. Is because my wife would always be like, "Oh my God, your beer shelf is getting out of control." Yeah, yeah, I know. I won't buy any more beer. Now it's just like she'll never see this. She never comes out here, so I could just have. I'm just gonna get all the beer, all the beer. Speaking of, I'm gonna get all of this beer. I'll stop taking up your time. Cheers, guys.